Hello, everybody, and welcome to the USCRL Xfinity Series race live from Daytona International Speedway. My name is Dale Reynolds, and I'm in the booth tonight bringing you all the action of this very exciting race here. I hope everyone is having a great 4th of July weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. As you can tell right now, we're in the middle of qualifying. We just jumped right into qualifying here, and we're just going to kind of take a quick look at the rundown here. Frank Simano was fastest in final practice. And we're looking at, let's see who we got here. There's Frankie. He's on the track right now in a number 22 Caterpillar. The last time we broadcast, he was the big winner in Las Vegas. Fortunately, last week we did not broadcast. Kevin Kelly Jr. was the big winner. And Junior's won 2 out of the 3 races so far in this USCRL Xfinity Series championship chase right now. Frankie Simalo being the other guy. You see him out there taking his qualifying lap. He just got bumped off the charts there. Eric Smith, 51.67, currently sitting on top of the chart. Oh, no, wow, number of guys flooding in here. John Cross, Jeff Norway, Kevin Kelly Jr., Kevin Kelly Sr. are in race reporter tonight. Steve Dale, second fastest. Ben Rinaldi on the top of the charts here. Ben Rinaldi at a 51.44 so far here in this qualifying session. A couple of cars still have yet to take time. Frankie Simano, he was out taking 1 lap. He just completed that lap, looks like. John Peterson, there's Frankie, jumps up to 3rd on the chart. Travis McKinney still out doing 1 lap. Ernie D'Alfonso, Ben Britton, Jeff Norway decided to start in the back, so that's why he's got a DQ underneath his time, and looks like Ben Britton just did the same. Ben Rinaldi holding the top of the charts right now at a 51.44. These Xfinity cars do not have the same speed. They still use carburetors, and they still use very small carburetors compared to the Cup cars. Times are not going to be as quick with these Xfinity cars as they would be for, your Cup cars. And even these cars are more like, they probably have speeds more like the trucks. The trucks, however, unrestricted. These Xfinity cars do have a restrictor plate. So qualifying is over. Looks like Ben Rinaldi is the gentleman who will be starting on the pole tonight in that number 42 car. See if we can get a nice shot of that car here. There we go. Number 42, Ineos Target. Yeah. All right. As the guys are getting ready right now to go to happy hour, aka final practice. See if we can check out some happy hour practice here. Again, Daytona International Speedway. This is a big 2.5-mile super speedway. For these particular cars, handling isn't really going to be an issue. I know that with the Cup cars, handling is definitely an issue, or was an issue. But for these Xfinity cars, these cars are a little bit slower. They do have a little bit more of a narrow wheelbase than the Cup cars. So, but handling has not been much of an issue. Really, with these Xfinity cars, the big key here tonight is to stay in the draft, because obviously we all know the draft makes you faster, and in a pack you see a bunch of guys right now leaving pit road in a big group so they can practice a little bit and get out onto the track. But again, drafting is going to be the biggest key. Handling is not really much of a factor, and these Xfinity cars,
Dale got me on separate whisper.
They have, oops, excuse me, guys. Yes, sir, Kelly Sr., I got you.
Stand for.
Kelly Sr. checking in with the microphone here. Kelly Sr. again is going to be our in-race reporter tonight. Kevin Kelly Sr. driving, let me see if we can get it up here. Kevin Kelly Sr. driving a number 30 car. As we kind of get our cameras and things figured out there. There's Kevin Kelly and the Rapid Scrapple, our original, and the Piggly Wiggly number 30 Chevy Camaro, red, white, and blue for the 4th of July this weekend. Also Kevin Kelly Jr. adorning almost an identical scheme. He is in the Armor Feed Our Vets number 5 Chevy Camaro. Again, Kevin Kelly Jr. won 2 of the past 3 races so far in his USCRL. The other one was broadcast live, and that one went to Frank Shimano. He was the big winner in Las Vegas. There you see him in the number 22 Caterpillar Toyota Camry. We get some practice action going on here with this small little pack of about 5 cars. You got Ernie D'Alfonso, Ben Rinaldi, who's starting on the pole, Kevin Ring. We got the 48 of Travis McKinney, and the number 22. Again, these guys just trying to get in, just practicing. Now, there's not a whole lot these guys can change. Pretty much when these guys roll off the semi, when the cars get to Daytona on the truck, there's not a whole lot you can really change to make the car necessarily faster. Everything pretty much comes directly from the shop. You can do a couple small things like add tape. You might be able to adjust a wedge or something, anything like that, but nothing really too major. And you can see the outside lane prevailing with 3 cars there. These Xfinity cars punch a pretty big hole into the air, so you know, we'll be interested to see what Ernie D'Alfonso can do here. You see that he's already gaining in pretty good. Those guys cleared him pretty good coming off of turn 2, but you can see that he's staying in the draft, and he's going to get a big run here. You see he's caught up with relative ease. So these Xfinity cars, again, punch a big hole into the air, a much bigger hole than what the Cup guys do, probably more along the lines of what the trucks can do. And that can make for some exciting racing at the end. It brings back the slingshot, and it brings back, you know, a lot of the old style racing. You know, you can make big moves and get a run on somebody, swing out wide. Side drafting does work, but it's not as nearly as effective as it is with the Cup cars, but it does exist. So I'll look for some of that tonight. And again, look for some big heavy runs and things like that. And you can see that Jeremy Enox is currently topping the practice chart right now with Steve Deo. There's 2 cars right there. You can see, looks like they're coming into pit road. Looks like they're practicing, at least getting into pit road cleanly without locking up the tires or anything of that nature. The Tango does work here too, but you won't see that too much. You see Jeremy scrape the right side of his car as he came into pit road. See how much time we have. A minute left here until the race time. We'll try to get everything everything sorted up as close as we can. Obviously, I know that this is technically low production values, but hey, it's better than nothing, right? We love to broadcast. I love broadcasting. I love to bring the action to you guys, especially with this series, this USCRL series. Man, a lot of good drivers here, a lot of up-and-coming drivers and some proven drivers. You know, you get a nice mix of people here and a clash of personalities from time to time. And, you know, makes for some exciting racing, makes for exciting action out on the track as well. So, again, we thank you guys very much for tuning in and checking it all out. As we got just a few seconds left until the beginning of the race. We're just going to do another final check here just to make sure everything is going well. Let's see. Is going well. All right. So the timer's run out. Kevin Ring tops the final practice at a 47.06. So he is the fastest car in final practice, and ends up happy hour on the top of the charts. You see, only about half the cars went out for final practice. So. And here we go, playing the national anthem, getting ready for the race. Happy 4th of July, America, and everybody else. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Thank everybody for the great sacrifices they have. I know that's more Memorial Day, but July 4th, happy birthday, America. Let's get ourselves some racing. All right.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And there's the command, the fire engines. So here's your starting lineup for tonight. On the pole, Ben Rinaldi in the number 42 Ineos Target Chevy Camaro. Starting second is Steve Deo in the number 14 Bad Boy Buggies Ford Mustang. Starting third, Frankie Samato in the number 22, Caterpillar Toyota Camry, who was not the defending winner, but the last time we broadcasted, he was the big winner in Las Vegas. Dwayne Hall, the number 55 Wrangler Jeans Chevy Camaro, always strong on these play tracks. Watch for him to be a factor tonight. Starting fifth, Kevin Kelly Sr. He knows a thing or two about Daytona. Starting fifth in the number 30, Rapid Scrapple R Original and Piggly Wiggly Chevy Camaro. Travis McKinney starting sixth in the number 48 DC Solar Chevy Camaro. Kevin Kelly Jr. starting seventh in the number 5 Under Armour Feed Our Vets Chevy Camaro. Jeremy Enix in the number 13 2015 American Stock Car Toyota Camry. It should be 2016, but you know, what can you do sometimes, right? Rob Merlino in the number 27. Looks like Armero Carpenters Chevy Camaro. Excuse me, sorry if I fudged that name up a little bit. My apologies. John Cross starting 10th in the number 36 K&N Chevy Camaro. Ernie D'Alfonso, the number 10 DuPont Chevy Camaro. Norman Kraft starting 12th, the number 88 Nationwide Chevy Camaro. Kevin Ring starting 13th in the number 37 View Askew Productions and the Jay and Silent Bob Ford Mustang. Eric Smith starting 14th in the number 99 Planters Toyota Camry. Starting 15th, Jeff Norway in the 54 Mountain Dew Kickstart Chevy Camaro. Ben Britton 16th in the number 23 Discount Tire Ford Mustang. And shotgun on the field, John Peterson at number 18 Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry. The field lines up as we're getting ready to go green here for 70 laps here at Daytona International Speedway. Ben Rinaldi and Steve Deo bring them down, Green flag is out, and we are underway here at Daytona. Man, they don't look much different than when they started the race about a lap ago. Ben Rinaldi is out in the lead, but you can see double file still throughout the entire pack here. There's only a pack of about 17 cars. Whoa, Steve Dale already! Trouble already in turn 2! Steve Dale already around. He got turned around and got in front of the pack already. Trouble strikes already. That did not take long at all. I'm going to go ahead and try to rewind here. Let's see what happens here with Steve Dale. He was the first car that I saw got sideways. He's going into turn 1. He's up high. It looks like he got bumped from behind trying to change lanes there. Oh, Eric Smith, man, he needed a good run tonight. He just had nowhere to go in front of Steve Dale. But to be honest, that wreck could have been a lot worse. It could have taken out a lot more people. You see right here, Steve Dale comes down. He tried to get into the bottom lane just in front. And it looks like we're going to have a restart of the race here, guys. The admin control. Now, this is not a surprising thing. Admins do have control to choose to restart the race if the start of the race does not get underway. So this is something that's not new. This has happened a couple times before, where if the start of the race, something major happens, it could be, connection issues on somebody's part or something else like that. But I can imagine that that's not going to make the mood any much more lighter than what it was, because it looked like Steve Dale came down. He just wasn't clear. Came across the nose of Kevin Kelly Sr. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of looks like one of those deals. Steve Dale tried to get into the bottom lane. He just wasn't clear. And, I mean, Kevin Kelly, there's nothing that Kevin Kelly could do. He just came down and, couldn't check up or anything. And around when Steve Dale and Eric Smith got collected as well. as long as a couple other drivers, we didn't get a chance to, you know, look at the replay in its entirety. But you know, unfortunately, it looks like Steve Deo now with the restart of the race. It looks like he's going to drop to the back of the pack here. Don't know if that's a call from. I don't know if that's a call from the tower or anything else of that nature about sending Steve Dale to the back. Maybe it's the driver choosing to restart there in the back. But in this situation, the outside lane moves up since Steve Dale was on the outside pole. The outside lane just moves up. So now when we restart this race, excuse me, it's just like the All-Star race back in 2001 with the Winston Cup cars. You know, if the start of the race goes horribly askew, the USCRL officials will deem a restart of the race. So, again, not something that's not surprising. So, Dwayne Hall will pick up the outside lane here in the front as we now attempt to restart this race. Behind the field, behind the Chevy Camaro pace car. You see the field lumbering around turns 3 and 4 right now. I believe this is 32 degrees of banking, 33 degrees of banking in Daytona. The banking is taller and stiffer than the roof on your house. Just envision that. It's about 3 stories high. From the bottom of the track all the way to the top, about 3 stories high. It allows for the wide open racing that we see. So again, looks like Steve Dale is starting in the back of the pack. He's starting 16th, as you see. Pace car rolls off, and we will restart this race. Ben Rinaldi still on the pole.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag is out. We are back underway again at Daytona. And once again, field looks like it hasn't changed since the start of the race. Ben Rinaldi again leads this first lap. There's still double file up here in the pack, just like as if it was the start of the race. Dwayne Hall leading the train on the outside lane. Frankie Samato right behind Ben Rinaldi, pushing him clear of the lead. And we've got about 2 cars now that are clear of that outside lane. Kevin Kelly Sr. is on the bottom. He's just about clear of Dwayne Hall. As you see, we've already got 1 car who's dropped off from the lead pack. It's John Peterson in a number 18 car. He has dropped back and out of the pack. I don't know if this was planned or maybe he fell out of the draft, but a fortunate start for him. He's out of the draft, and Ben Britton as well has lost the lead draft. Don't know if this is just a plan by these guys. I don't know if this is strategy, just trying to avoid the big one. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I mean, it's definitely not going to help. You know, cars in the lead draft are usually about 2 or 3 seconds per lap faster than cars that are not in the draft. Looks like Ben Britton is slowing down to allow John Peterson to get up so they can draft together. That would be a smart idea. Looks that way. Yep, looks about that way there. We go back up front. Ben Rinaldi currently leading. You see this pack is 2 wide. Sometimes they might get 3 wide too. This track not as wide as Talladega, so 3 wide is a little bit more hairy and a little less common here than it is at Talladega. Talladega is about 4 lanes wide. This track ideally only about 3 lanes wide. When we kind of move through the pack here, you see 15 cars in this lead draft here still, minus Ben Britton and John Peterson, who are hanging out in the back. We got about a 5-car breakaway right now. Ben Rinaldi, Frankie Samato, Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., and 27 of Ron Merlino in 5th. And it looks like we got a 6-car breakout as well here in Norman Craft in the 88. And that's about what it is, folks. It's just kind of like bike racing, almost. You notice how those guys, like in the Tour de France, they always stay bundled up together because that's all the wind resistance. They're all breaking up the wind resistance between themselves. It makes it easier to pedal. There's less wind working against them. So that's exactly what this looks like right now. You see Dwayne Hall leading the charge on the outside lane. Look, he has fallen back. He doesn't have very many cars behind him to help him push. Dwayne Hall, Travis McKinney, and John Cross at the 36. Those guys are all in the on the outside lane. And of course, as soon as I say it, they're falling back. We got an outside lane starting to form here. Not a surprise. Kevin Kelly Sr. and Kevin Kelly Jr., those guys never are content in riding in line. They're going to push it to the outside of Frankie Samato for 2nd place. And now looking on the outside of Ben Rinaldi for the lead, we now have 2 lanes, 2 complete lanes side by side here going into turn 1. Kevin Kelly Sr. on the outside. He grabs the lead. Kevin Kelly Jr. is now clear as well. And the inside lane, just as soon as we started talking that the outside lane was starting to lose its form, the outside lane comes back immediately. And look at Ron Merlino there. Oh, they're going 3 wide here in the middle of the pack. 3 wide here for about 4th position. Ron Merlino, Jeremy Enix, and Dwayne Hall. They settle it out now. Dwayne Hall outside, inside, in between. He was making it work right there. It looked like Ron Merlino was 3rd on the outside lane, and then he tried to get underneath, and then the hole closed up behind him, so he got stuck in the middle. He's gonna go, he goes back and loses a few positions here. Right along here with Jeremy Enix. Jeremy Enix, again, another guy who's been to victory lane at Daytona, so he knows his way around here. He was right up there about a lap ago with these guys. Oh, little contact between Kevin Ring and Ron Merlino there. You can see he knows his way around. Jeremy knows his way around here. Right now that outside lane is currently starting to dissolve a little bit in favor of the inside lane. We're going to just kind of keep going right through here. Dwayne Hall was up front and in the back and then up front, and now he's going backwards again. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he's got a whole lot of partners with him. He's had Travis McKinney on his bumper pretty much this whole race. You see Travis there in 11th position right now. He's been there the entire race. But it's not necessarily just the amount of 2 cars. You need to have 3, 4, 5 cars in order to have a nice drafting line. Kevin Kelly Sr. again in the lead. Kevin Kelly Jr. is in 2nd. Frankie Samato 3rd. Norman Craft is riding in 4th. Ernie D'Alfonso is in 5th. Got, again, about a 5-car, a little bit of a 5-car breakaway here. Then you got side-by-side racing. Kevin Ring is currently in 6th, holding down that 6th position. Then you've got the 54 of Jeff Norway and the Mountain Dew Kickstart Chevy Camaro. And this outside line, as you can see, has pretty much been dissolved. It's now just one long lane. And this is pretty normal. What happens is that it's still early in the race. You know, side by side, obviously, is a little bit more risky than, you know, running just in single file. What I bet you a lot of these guys right now are just saying, get in single file, ride around a little bit. It's not time to go yet. It's time not to, you know, push or do anything really bad. So these guys are getting in line. You see Dwayne Hall kick to the outside lane here. He's all by himself. See if he can find an opening behind or in front of Travis McKinney here. I would imagine that Travis would let him in because they've been working. They've pretty much been working together for this entire race thus far. Ben Rinaldi on the pole. He's already 12th, and positions will shuffle that quickly depending on which lane goes and which lane does not go. Steve Deo 14th, John Cross 15th. You see John Peterson and Ben Britton doing the 2-car tango. They're about 21.5 seconds behind the lead pack. Hopefully that they'll maintain some kind of pace. They can grab a caution, or maybe they can make it to the first set of green flag pit stops, maybe make up a little bit of time that way, and hopefully they don't go a lap down, but really they're going to be hoping for a caution soon. But the way that this is looking right now, everything's really settled out, as you can see, with this main pack here. Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., the father and son duo. They're running around right now, leading this pack. Again, Frankie Samato third, Norman Kraft fourth, and Ernie D'Alfonso is in fifth. Kind of just staying single file right now. Everybody's just kind of riding around. And since that is the case right now, guys, we're just going to take a quick, short break. We'll break in if anything else happens. We're just going to take a quick break right now, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Things are just starting, and things have not gotten started yet. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back to tonight's USCRL Xfinity Series race live from Daytona International Speedway. My name is Dale Reynolds in the booth for you, catching up with you guys right now after that short little break. Not much has changed up here in the front. Kevin Kelly Sr. still leads. Kevin Kelly Jr. riding along in second. Frankie Samato third. Norman Kraft in fourth. And Ernie D'Alfonso rounds out the top five. Jeremy Enix is in sixth. Jeff Norway is in seventh. Wayne Hall in eighth. Ron Bellino is in ninth. Travis McKinney rounds out the top 10. Looks like we got Kevin Ring. Kevin Ring has lost the lead draft, unfortunately. He is in 11th. And during the commercial break, you see these four cars have broken out and away from the lead draft, led by Ben Rinaldi. He's in 12th. Eric Smith in the 99, 13th. Steve Deo in 14th. Car 14 is 14th. Sorry, I just had to do that. John Cross is in 15th. And John Peterson and Ben Britton round out the field right now, 16th and 17th. Those guys are losing time. The last time we checked in, they were about 21.5 seconds back. Now they're about 28, almost 29 seconds behind the pack. So that main pack is doing some damage right now. Cars are dropping off of it, and people are losing time to it. So it looks like early on it's going to be important to stay in this lead draft and stay close to the leaders as humanly possible. You lose a lot of time on the track, and it's something that's very hard to make up on pit road. The only way you're really going to be able to make up that kind of time is, unfortunately, to get a caution, which obviously nobody hopes for a caution, especially when people wreck. But, unfortunately, that's about what those guys are going to need in order to make up that time on the track that they have lost. Again, just riding single file for right now. It looks fairly tame right now, but trust me, inside these cars, the drivers, the nerves never go away in a super speedway race because you're always working, trying to, keep yourself in line with the draft. It's so important to stay in line with the draft, and you never get a mental break in a super speedway. You never do. You're always on edge. There's always, unless you're by yourself, you're always around somebody. Somebody's behind you. You might be in front of somebody else, and somebody might be in front of you. In this case, Kevin Kelly Sr., even in Kevin Kelly Sr.'s position right now, he's got to worry that Kevin Kelly Jr., his son, will stay straight to his bumper as possible. He'll stay as straight as possible. This way he doesn't knock him sideways, if he's pushing them or bumping them, which you can see he's pretty much been doing this entire race. I don't know if anybody's been noticing that, but Kevin Kelly Jr. has pretty much, since the start of the race, has tucked his nose up onto his dad's front bumper, or his rear bumper, and has not let off at all. He's been chain drafting him away around this whole track here. And it looks like we had another car drop from the pack here. Looks like we had Ron Molino and Travis McKinney drop off from the pack. I don't know if those guys maybe had an issue where they had to check up or whatever the case is. See a little bit of damage on the left rear corner of Ron Molino's car. You see it's crinkled up there right on the left-hand side. Thankfully, it looks like it's more so in the back than anything else, so that shouldn't hurt his aerodynamics. But still a tough break for those guys, because those two cars, it doesn't matter if you got two cars drafting or whatnot, you're going to lose a good amount of time to this front pack. You see on the ticker on the bottom right, that is a live ticker that is live, and you can see that those two cars by themselves, Dwayne Hall on the tail end of that lead draft, you can see how the time is just extending and extending and extending. And well, speaking of which, Dwayne Hall is coming into pit road here. I don't know if this is a scheduled stop or not. Dwayne Hall coming into pit road here on lap 20. Don't know if this is a scheduled stop or something maybe amiss with the car. Again, 70 laps here. It looks like we have our first set of green flag cycles. Excuse me. Maybe it is a scheduled stop. Looks like our first cycle of green flag stops is taking place right now. We've got cars that are coming into pit road. A lot of people signaling coming into pit road. And a big thing here, if you're only going to take two tires, do not lock up the tires, but you also don't want to speed as well. It is a graceful art to be trying to come into pit road without hitting anybody or locking up tires or anything else. Norman Kraft is in. Ernie D'Alfonso and Jeff Norway coming into pit road here. As you can see, the front three have stayed out. Kevin Kelly Jr., Kevin Kelly Sr., Frankie Samano, and Jeremy Enix. Those guys in the front four have not come in. They might be coming in this next time around. Ron Merlino in fifth. He has lost his drafting partner, Travis McKinney. It looks like he's on pit road. Ben Rinaldi, Steve Deo, John Cross as well coming into pit road. Jeff Norway's service is complete. There's John Cross in pit road right now. All these guys, don't know if these guys, for the most part, you only want to take two tires and just enough gas as possible. 4 tires tire wear is not a huge deal here at Daytona. All you need is to just put gas in the car. But in the same right, though, if you gotta wait for 2 tires, or if you gotta wait for the gas, you might as well put at least 2 tires on it, just for for safety's sake. So Now these guys are coming out of pit road here. These guys are done with their service. It looks like Jeff Norway is the one that's leading them off of pit road right now. You see a bunch of other lead cars here. The leaders have come in. Frankie Samato, Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., Jeremy Enix as well. These guys are all coming in, and they're done with their service. The important thing, too, now is they have to get lined up as soon as possible in order to keep their advantage. They have to keep their advantage. Line up, get in line as soon as possible. This way you can get up to speed faster. That's how you can make up time, especially if you stay nice and close to each other. You can see Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., Frankie, and Jeremy as well. Did not trade any positions. That was a very good execution on all of those teams. You see Jeremy's back just a little bit, but very good execution on all of those teams. They did a very good job. They all stayed in the same line. Whoa, there goes Jeremy. Oh, that looks like a connection problem. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's definitely not going to help these front three here. You see Kevin Ring coming into pit road. Kevin Kelly Sr. Looks like Jeremy Enix has got a connection issue once again. He's had this issue for a couple of weeks now. Don't know what's going on his end over there, but what a tough break for Jeremy. Unfortunately, connection issues are plaguing him once again. He just completely vanished and went through the track, unfortunately. So now that the green flag stops our cycle through, yeah, you see Jeremy Enix has left the race. Enox has moved the race. Enox, yeah, sorry. Apologies, Jeremy. He's left the race. Unfortunately, it looks like there was another connection issue on his part. Unfortunately, running fourth, having a good, strong run. Unfortunately, not to be tonight. Kevin Kelly Sr., after the run down at the green flag pit stops, Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., Frankie Samato, in a group of three by themselves. They're the front three. Ernie D'Alfonso, Travis McKinney, Dwayne Hall, and Jeff Norway are in your second pack. They're a pack of four. They are 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Norman Kraft, Ben Rinaldi, and Steve Deo are another three-pack there. They are 8th, 9th, and 10th. Eric Smith, unfortunately, by himself, looks like he's lost the draft. He is 11th. Hopefully, those two cars behind him, which are Ron Merlino and John Cross, they could pick him up, and they'll have a pack of three and be able to make up more time that way than just being a pack of two. John Peterson and Ben Britton. Look at these guys. These guys are on the tail end of the lead lap. They've been running. They have been running 1-2 like that this entire race. Now, unfortunately, you see how much time they have lost versus running up in that front pack, because those are the leaders right behind them. Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., and Frankie Samato. Those are the three leaders. They're getting ready to put them a lap down. Unfortunately, drafting, only one of those cars, if the leaders do get around them, is going to get the lucky dog if the caution does happen to fly. Unless they get lucky and the leaders decide to keep them ahead of them. Let's see what happens here. Nope, unfortunately, the leaders are going to go right by him. The leaders will go right by him there, so they will be listed officially as one lap down, unfortunately. Kevin Ring is in 16th spot right now. He is all by himself with no drafting help. And Jeremy is out of the race with connection issues, unfortunately. Kevin Kelly Sr. has dominated this race so far. Considering the fact that he has his son on his bumper, I don't think his son is going to make a move anytime soon. Obviously, family for one. But, it's still not early. It's still not late enough in a race to try and make a move. This is most of this plate racing right now is just trying to keep it. Is trying to just stay in line. Keep it mellow, keep yourself out of trouble, and then with about maybe 5 laps to go, then you start getting racy. You can see here that we are now 27 laps complete out of the 70 laps scheduled here tonight. Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., Frankie Samato, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Now Ernie D'Alfonso, Travis McKinney, Dwayne Hall, and Jeff Norway. These guys are 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. If these guys can stay in line and stay hooked up, let's take a ride here with Ernie, who's leading the second pack. You can see on the ticker on the bottom right, 4 cars theoretically should be faster than 3, but this really depends on how well everybody is lined up behind, especially 3rd and 4th cars in. The 1st and 2nd cars can pretty much stay nose to tail, but it's a little bit risky trying to chain draft with the 3rd and 4th cars. If those 3rd and 4th cars in line, which happen to be Dwayne Hall and Jeff Norway, if they can stay tucked up behind 3 cars, will be faster than 4. However, in this particular scenario, Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., Frankie Samato, there are 3 cars, but then you have Ben Britton and John Peterson in their draft as well. That makes them a 5-car pack. That will make them go faster than the 4 cars behind them trying to catch them down. As you can see, Ernie D'Alfonso, look at the ticker here as we go through turns 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. Time is going down just a little bit. Going down, it's about 9.2. Now it's starting to go back up, 9.3 seconds. And again, this is a live ticker. You can see that the ticker is slowly going up, ever so slightly. It's now up to 9.5 seconds for Ernie compared to where Kevin Kelly Jr. and Frankie Samato are. I say everybody except for those guys in the front pack, which are Kelly Sr., Kelly Jr., and Samato, everybody else, I want to say right now, is praying for a caution, because not only are those front 3 out and about, you see that Kevin Ring is probably going to join this line. Kevin Ring is going a lap down. He might be going another lap down, excuse me, maybe. We can take a look at our scoring here. Yeah, Kevin Ring is going 2 laps down. Now, if Kevin Ring can stay under the tail end of that lead pack, that'll make it 6 cars. That'll make it 6. And that'll be a pretty big pack there, a nice fast pack. Unfortunately, Kevin Ring looks like he is not going to be able to stay with those front 5. That pack of 5, he has lost the draft a little bit far back. And now what these guys in the second pack are going to want, they're going to want Kevin Ring to join in on the fray. Even though he is a lap down car, he is still a car that can help push and get in line and help with the drafting situation. So that's probably what these guys in the second pack want to do. Have him get into the second lane, into the second pack here, and hopefully start being able to track those leaders down if need be. In the third pack right now, Ben Rinaldi, Steve Deo, and Norman Kraft, still the pack of 3. Those guys are still about, let's see if I can scroll through the feed here. Those guys are definitely way back. They're good about 15 seconds back from the lead draft right now. Right along here with Ben Rinaldi. Ben Rinaldi is losing time, unfortunately, to that pack in front of him, which consists of Dwayne Hall, Jeff Norway, Travis McKinney, and Ernie D'Alfonso. Those are a pack of 4 versus a pack of 3. You see that the ticker goes down a little bit, then it goes back up. 7.2 seconds right now to that pack in front of them, and about 15 seconds to the leaders themselves. Steve Dale running 9th and Norman Kraft in 10th. Eric Smith has picked up a couple of cars to draft with. Eric Smith is in 11th. Ron Merlino and John Cross 12th and 13th. They are a pack of 3 cars. And John Peterson's having quite a bit of lag issue. Look at that. He's gone through the track, and there he is back again. He's got a very high ping right now. He's got about 1,100 ping. That ping should only be at about 1 to 200. So he's having some connection issues himself here, and Ben Britton does not know where he's going, unfortunately, and he's disappeared off the track. There he is back again. Wow. Now this could help this second pack right here. That's going to be a clutch, because if Ben Britton cannot get back to that lead draft, it is now only a lead draft of 3 cars. These guys that are running, you know, Ernie D'Alfonso, Travis McKinney, they have lost those 2 cars. Now, if those 2 cars can fall in behind the second pack, that will give more cars to the second pack and maybe start helping draw those cars in the second pack back up to the leaders. Let's see, right along with Frankie Samato here. Checking out some of the cool camera shots that we have available for you here on American Stock Car. See Kevin Kelly Sr. and Kevin Kelly Jr. still bumper to bumper. Kevin Kelly Jr. I don't think has let off the gas pedal since the start of the race, except for coming down pit road. Unless coming in and coming out of pit road, I don't think he's ever let off the gas at all. So he's been tucked up on his dad's bumper this whole race so far. Frankie Samato in third, doing the same thing as well. He stayed tucked up right to Kelly Jr.'s bumper. Those three have gone through the pit road the best so far, obviously, except for Jeremy. Jeremy obviously was with this pack until he had his connection issues as well. Those were the 4 cars that got in and out of pit road and stayed in front the absolute best. They executed the best on those last green flag set of stops. And it looks like here we're on lap 36 now, so we're halfway through this event. And the first set of pit stops came around lap 20 to 22, so we should be expecting these guys coming in once again in probably about 3 to 5 laps for another set of green flag pit stops here at Daytona. We're going to go through the pack here. Ernie D'Alfonso is in 4th. That gap has now kind of maintained itself for the most part. It hasn't gotten much bigger, hasn't gotten much smaller. Still at about 9.5 seconds to the rear bumper of Frankie Samato from Ernie D'Alfonso's front bumper. Travis McKinney running in 5th. Dwayne Hall in 6th. Jeff Norway is in 7th. Ben Britton, you can see he is in the pack, but he is also 1 lap down. Ben Rinaldi running 8th. Steve Deo 9th. Norman Kraft is in 10th. That is a 3-car pack there, and those guys are quite a ways back from the pack in front of them. And the leaders almost a good half a lap behind the leaders now. Eric Smith is in 11th. Ron Merlino 12th. John Cross in 13th. These guys, again, are a 3-car pack, but you can see that these guys don't have the formation right now. They do not have the formation of those lead guys, so those guys are actually losing more time the more that they don't line up and stay ahead of each other. Or, stay lined up with each other, Ben Britton is in 14th. He is 1 lap down, but he is in the 2nd pack, and he is a 5th and vital car right now. If they can stay lined up with that 5th car, again, that 2nd pack can start catching that lead pack. Kevin Ring is in 15th. He is a couple of laps down. John Peterson, looks like John Peterson has parked it. It is in the garage. He was having some connection issues, and it looks like he decided to just take the car and park it. Did not a good and classy part on his good and classy idea on his part to not affect or change affect the outcome of the race. And we should be coming up on green flag pit stops any time now. Again, within the next few laps, because it looks like these guys are only getting about 20 laps to a tank of gas. This race, yes, it is 70 laps. It's a little bit of a shorter race than the normal Xfinity Series race, but this is also run on 2 times wear, so you go through tires and you go through gas twice as fast. So under 70 laps, you pit, and they're expecting to pit about 3 times. Now on the 3rd stop, if they're pitting every 20 laps, that last stop they come in, if it's under green, can get real interesting, because then you have people maybe only taking just enough fuel to get to the end. You might have people that might reverse that strategy. They might pit on lap 40, and then they might pit again maybe on lap 50 again just to top off the fuel. That's the way how this pit strategy works. You can either run the tank dry, take what you need, or you can go ahead and reverse the strategy, pit as soon as the window opens, which is that's the strategy that most people employ during road courses. As soon as the window opens, you come in and pit, take what you need, and then get back out there. Whichever one's going to work out, well, we don't know quite yet. Unfortunately, it's not that time yet. But we do know Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., and Frankie, those guys have been up front all night. Kevin Kelly Sr. took the lead from, I believe it was Ben Rinaldi, early on in the race, made a move to the outside, took the lead, and got back to the inside. Kevin Kelly Sr., Kelly Jr., and Samato as well. Those guys got out front early, and that's where they have stayed thus far. Dwayne Hall signaling coming in to pit road. Dwayne Hall, Jeff Norway also as well coming into pit road. Travis McKinney, looks like the second pack is getting ready to pit here. So Ernie D'Alfonso, expect these guys this time around. Ernie D'Alfonso, Travis McKinney, Dwayne Hall, Jeff Norway. I don't know if Ben Britton will be on the same strategy as them.
Caution's out.
And the caution's out. Caution is out. See if we can find where the incident is. It looks like we may have found it. It looks like, I don't know if it was Eric Smith. Let's see here.
Pace cars, let's get caught
Let's
up.
see if we can find this, the reason for this. Caution here. Yep, okay. There it is right there. Eric Smith and John Cross. Let's see if we could take a look through here quick and ride along. Oh, okay. Yep, looks like Eric Smith was getting ready to come into pit road. Don't know if John Cross maybe got the message or just didn't check up enough in time, but definitely helped turn him around. Right along here with John Cross. Oh, you can see Eric Smith checked up big time. Probably a little bit sooner than John Cross would have expected to. Whether he signaled or not, probably a little bit earlier than what John Cross would have expected for him to check up at. But you can see right there, he just checked up, and John Cross had very little time to react and just ran to the back of him. Caused Eric Smith to spin out there. Luckily, no harm, no foul. He just kind of spun out there, didn't hit anything, and got back going. But unfortunately, caution is out at Daytona. And we try to get ourselves back live here. Let's see. Little technical difficulty. There we go. All right. So the caution came out. That is a big break for everybody but those front three. Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., and Frankie Smile. Those guys were hoping that it would go green all the way to the end of the race. Now that the caution is out, everybody has caught back up to them. And now instead of just having those three race for the finish, now the whole pack is back with them. So Ernie D'Alfonso, Travis McKinney, Norway, Rinaldi, Deo, Kraft, Merlino. Looks like Ben Britton got the lucky dog. He will be back on the lead lap. Eric Smith in 13th, John Cross 14th, Kevin Ring in 15th. John Pearson and Jeremy Enix obviously out of the race. Dwayne Hall stays out. He's going to get a lap lead here. Looks like, don't know if he's going to stay out, try a little bit of strategy. But Dwayne Hall inherits the lead at the moment of the race. And you see the race off of pit road here. Frankie Samato comes out ahead of both Kelly Sr. and Kelly Jr. Frankie Samato is first out of pit road. Kevin Kelly Sr. second. Ben Rinaldi with a good stop. He came out in third. Ernie D'Alfonso fourth. Jeff Norway fifth. Kevin Kelly Jr. lost a lot of positions on there. He was second behind his dad coming into pit road. He lost about good 5 or 6 spots coming out. We'll have to follow up there and see what happened on that pit stop. Norman Kraft 9, Travis McKinney, Steve Deo, Ron Merlino, Eric Smith. Those guys are all laps down, but this is how the order's going to shake out here for the restart. You know, pending if Dwayne Hall pits, and we know Ben Britton is going to pit. He got the lucky dog, so he's going to end up having to pit anyways. So Dwayne Hall has inherited the lead. And if we can here for 1 second, we're going to catch up with our in-race reporter, who does happen to be Kevin Kelly Sr., who has led most of this race the entire night. Kevin Kelly Sr., this is Dale Reynolds in the booth. Do you have a copy?
10-4.
Kelly Sr., man, you put on a clinic tonight. You, Kevin Kelly Jr., and Frankie, you guys had a lead all by yourselves up until that caution. How's the car driving?
Cars actually responded really good. We the last stop we did right sides only, and it drove so well. We actually went right sides again and filled the tank up on the stop too.
That sounds really good, man. Obviously, we were talking earlier. A lot of times, you don't need to take 4 tires here at Daytona because tires are very minimal with just right side tires. But it's good to know that the car still handles with 2 right side tires. Looks like you're starting on the outside here of Frankie Samato. I know that caution is something you did not want to see.
No, you know, I kind of lost my drafting partner a little bit there too, Junior, but he's confident he can get back through there and get to us. And we're probably just going to settle in here and ride for a little bit and see what happens. We've all got to stop one more time.
10-4 on that, Kevin Kelly Sr. Good luck out there, man. We'll go ahead and let you guys get restarted. Everybody, Kevin Kelly Sr.
10-4, appreciate it, man. It's going to be a hell of a show.
10-4, man. Good luck to you. All right, so Kevin Kelly Sr., as you can tell, took strategy just like we were talking about before on that green flag pit stop. He just took 2 right side tires and got back in and out a lot faster than some of these other guys. But all of that strategy has now gone to the wayside. The caution came out, and those guys who were on the lead lap are right back up to him. And just like that, Kevin Kelly Jr. did have a slow stop. We are hearing on the team radio, think they just had a slow pit stop there. The tire changer got a lug nut hung up or something. They had to make sure they had to get it tight before they left pit road, which is a good thing, even though you lose a little bit of time. You lose a little bit of time on pit road, but it's much better than having a loose wheel and having something major happen, whether it be a wreck or having a pit under green to tighten up that lug nut. So restarting the race here on lap 44. Frankie Samato is in the lead. Kevin Kelly Sr. is restarting second. Ben Rinaldi has climbed his way up to third. Ernie D'Alfonso fourth. Kelly Jr. fifth. Norman Kraft sixth. Travis McKinney, Steve Deo, and you can see the rest of the top 10. The green flag is out. We're back underway at Daytona. Ben Rinaldi gave Frankie Samato a huge jump out to the lead, but not for long. Look at Ernie D'Alfonso here to the outside, being pushed by Norman Kraft and Steve Deo on the outside lane. Here goes Ernie to the lead. He's going to get it too. Ernie D'Alfonso, a big run for the guys in the outside lane. These guys, a lot of these guys, except for Frankie Samato, Kevin Sr., and Kevin Jr., those guys have got to feel like they've got a second lease on life with that caution, and they're not going to waste it. Take a look at that. Ernie D'Alfonso, who was in that second pack prior to the caution, he is now in the lead. You see Norman Kraft swinging way down to the inside. I don't know if there was some kind of bump issue or what kind of something like that, but he dove to the inside. Norman Kraft is now in the lead. Kevin Ring in the wall going into turn 3. Steve Deo in second. Dwayne Hall in third. Suddenly guys that we have not heard of in the last 15 to 20 laps are now back in the front. Frankie Samato in fourth, Ben Rinaldi in fifth. You can see the outside lane trying to form once again. You see Kevin Ring again having a little bit of connection issues. Kevin Kelly Sr. and Kevin Kelly Jr. didn't take them long, but they found each other once again, and they got Travis McKinney behind them on the outside lane. Kevin Kelly Jr. in 8th, Travis in 9th. You got Ernie D'Alfonso in 10th, Jeff Norway in 11th, Ben Britton in 12th. He is on the lead lap. John Cross is in 13th. He is unfortunately one lap down, but he is in the pack with the leaders. Eric Smith is in 14th. Unfortunately, after that incident with John Cross, Kevin Ring in 15th. He is having some connection issues. You see his car bouncing back and forth. And again, John Pearson and Jeremy Enix out of the race. around here with Norman Kraft here on the inside, who took the lead from Ernie D'Alfonso on the backstretch a couple of laps ago. He's being pushed by Steve Dale in the number 14. We ride on board, and it looks like that outside lane is starting to form. Here comes Kevin Kelly Sr. to the outside. He's outside of Frankie for fourth. And they've got a good line pushing him. Kevin Kelly Jr. is behind him. We got Ron Merlino in 8th on the inside. Travis is on the outside. He's in 9th. Ernie is up top in 10th. Ben Britton 11th. Jeff Norway again on the outside in 12th. John Cross a lap down, but on the bottom lane there is in 13th. And you can see the intensity is ratcheting up. We are now past halfway in the race. And again, a lot of these drivers feeling like they have a second lease on life. They are going for it. There is no more riding around for those guys. We know that Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., and, you know, Frankie Samato, they could probably ride around. They feel like they can ride around. Those guys that have now caught back up to that lead draft, their adrenaline is high. They have a second lease now. They feel like they've gotten another chance. They're going to go for it. They're not going to make the same mistakes that they made beforehand, which allowed them to lose that draft. So you're going to see those guys get very aggressive, as you can imagine. As the pack is now coming up on Eric Smith here, they're going to put him another lap down as the field has to squeeze by him. Not necessarily squeeze too tightly, but they still have to squeeze by him just a little bit there through the turn. And Norman Kraft is up in the lead in the number 88 Nationwide Chevy Camaro. And again, this race looks very different than it did about 7 laps ago before the caution. See Kevin Kelly Sr. still trying to work that outside lane. Hasn't made much progress. They're still on the outside of Frankie Samato. You see Kevin Ring is now going to be falling a lap down here. Whoa, a little tight there. Little tight. They make it through okay. Kevin Kelly Sr. unfortunately loses a little bit of ground there. He's now on the outside of Ben Rinaldi, our pole sitter, Ben Rinaldi. And Ron Merlino is in 7th. Kevin Kelly Jr. is in 8th. Travis McKinney is now in 10th. It was 9th. Jeff Norway is on the inside. Now this outside lane is starting to fall apart, it looks like. Now they were up to the door of Frankie Samato. They're now back to Jeff Norway. They've got to get some more pushers to the outside lane to make something work. Ernie D'Alfonso, Ben Britton on the outside lane. John Cross, again, not for position, but he is in this pack. It is a pack of 13 cars. Eric Smith, 14. Kevin Ring, 15. Those are the only 2 cars not in this lead pack. You see them going 3 wide there for a split second. And now it looks like that outside lane, look again, that outside lane is starting to make a charge to the outside of Steve Deo. Ooh, wow. And Ben Rinaldi was on the underside of the double yellow line. He did not make an advance. And look at this outside lane once again. Kevin Kelly Sr. up to the front on the outside, doing it the same way they did it early in the race. So Norman Kraft is out of shape. Ooh, that was very close. Norman Kraft was out of shape down the front stretch. And now that is going to hurt him big time. He is slowed down and looks like he went from the lead to 12th just like that. Unfortunate break for him. Let's take a look back at what we were talking about here. He got knocked sideways. It looks as though he's right along here, going through the front stretch. He got knocked sideways, looked like by Steve Dale, got shoved under the yellow line. And a smart thing on his part, he checked up. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get back up onto the track the right way. So he checked up, let everybody go, and got back up when he could. That was a very smart move on him. Unfortunately, he's going to lose a bunch of time in a bunch of spots right there. But good call on his part to not try and affect anybody else's race. He is currently sitting 12th right now, and he has got to be pounding on that wheel. It was just a lap and a half ago that he was leading this race. And ever since that incident, it has now become, once again, a couple of cars in a single line here. Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., Travis McKinney, Ernie D'Alfonso, and Ben Britton are your front five. Hey, it wasn't too long ago Ben Britton was a lap down. He is now up to 5th position. Dwayne Hall is in 6th. He's got something to say. I'm pretty sure he does. He's got Frankie Simano behind him. Those guys are now back to one lane. Dwayne Hall goes to the outside, looks like, and Frankie Simano's going to go with him. Ben Rinaldi is saying, nope, I'm not going to go there. Ben Rinaldi to the inside. They're going to hang Frankie out here, it looks as though. And Frankie is going to drop back to about 10th spot. Right along here with Jeff Norway here. No, now we got to be careful. Frankie Simano and Ron Merlino, those guys have got to make sure they stay tucked up as close as they can and not lose this lead draft. Frankie Simano, if they lose this draft, it's going to be a bad break for him because, again, Frankie was one of those cars in the front 3 prior to the caution who had a huge gap on everybody else. Ben Rinaldi underneath the yellow line again. It looks like, I don't know if he's having some kind of handling issues or whatever the case may be, but that is the second time in the last handful of laps that he was knocked down underneath, either knocked down or pushed down or got, it was underneath that yellow line for whatever reason it was. Keep your eye on him. Again, he was your pole sitter tonight. He had great single car speed. Maybe they built a little bit too much speed into the car and it's not handling correctly, because that's happened a couple of times beforehand. Everybody knows if you have good single car speed, it may not handle the best in a pack. So as you can see, Frankie Simano and John Cross signaling coming into pit road. Norman Kraft, Frankie Simano is all by himself in pit road. This has got to be a strategy call. We are now at lap 57 of 60. It's getting down to crunch time. He is in the window to make it on this stop to the end of the race. He's already lost the lead draft. He might as well pull the trigger and make his pit now instead of losing time to the leaders and then having to come into pit road. So maybe a good call on Frankie's part. Unfortunately, though, he has no cars around him to help him draft. He is a lone man out there. John Cross as well is in pit road getting his service. Eric Smith and Kevin Ring, 14th and 15th. Kevin Ring is one lap down to Eric Smith, unfortunately, so it won't be for position, but they are in chronological order on the track here. As you can see, the cars up front. Kevin Kelly Sr. still leading this race. Kevin Kelly Jr. in second. Travis McKinney in third. Ernie D'Alfonso in fourth, and Ben Britton in fifth. Again, it's gotten fairly tame right now. It is fairly tame, but this race is not over. It is not over by a long shot. There's still one more pit stop to go, so you have to think that they're just riding around, waiting until the last pit stop, and then getting everything organized after the pit stop, and then they'll go racing, because even though there is only 11 laps left in this race, it's still a long ways until the end. A lot can happen, especially at a plate track like this. A lot can happen, as you see, in a very short amount of time. So, unfortunately, it looks like Frankie Simano right now is riding by himself, and that lead pack of cars is coming up in his rearview mirror like the bad guy coming up the stairs in a horror movie. Frankie Simano does not want to see that. He is going to be a lap down, but unfortunately, there's nothing he can do. You can see how fast being in the draft is compared to being by yourself. They're just going to swallow him up right here, and they're going to put him one lap down. But again, these guys have to make one more stop. Frankie Simano is done pitting, so Frankie can stay out there until the end of the race. You see Norman Kraft has completely lost the draft as well after his incident on the front stretch. Ron Merlino is in 10th, and again, he's by himself as well. Steve Dale is on the tail end of this big pack right now. He is in 9th, and we are pretty much just waiting for the final set of green flag stops here, if it does go green, for these leaders to pit. What we will do right now is take a very short break. We'll break in if anything happens, but we're going to take a break right now, and we're going to let the green flag stops go through. We will be right back. Do not move anywhere. Do not go anywhere. It is going to get wild. right, everybody, welcome back to the USCRL Xfinity Series race live from Daytona International Speedway. Dale Reynolds in the booth. As you can see, nothing has happened yet as far as green flag pit stops towards the end of this race. During our little break there, Kevin Kelly Sr. still leads. Kevin Kelly Jr. second. Travis McKinney is in third. Ernie D'Alfonso fourth. Ben Britton fifth. Dwayne Hall, Ben Rinaldi, Jeff Norway, and Steve Dale. Those are the guys running first through ninth in this lead pack. Norman Kraft is in 10th. Unfortunately, due to that incident on the front stretch, he has lost the draft, and hopefully it looks like maybe he can get the draft in with Eric Smith. And the other car right there, Kevin Ring, with him as well. Hopefully they can at least maybe not lose as much time as they would have been running just by himself. We're getting calls that crews are getting ready to go up on the wall and getting ready to service these machines. You can see Travis. Oh, Travis, look at that quick move by Travis and Ernie D'Alfonso. They're coming into pit road for their final stop of the race. Hopefully none of them sped or hit or locked up tires, because we've got only 5 laps left in this race. And anything worse than just taking a little bit of gas, I do not see these guys taking anything more than just a splash of gas just to finish this race up. We're getting calls now. Look at all these people here. Watch out for this front pack, because entering pit road can be a little bit hairy, especially here at the end of the race. Tension is picking up, and everything is picking up here towards the end of the race. Everybody's trying to go for that win. Let's see who comes in this time. Most of the leaders this time coming in. This entire pack is coming in. The entire pack of 7 here. Steve Dale wild into pit road there. He locked up his brakes a little bit, but good and clean on everybody's part to come in and get their service here with about only 4 laps left in this race. Splash and go on all of these drivers here. You know it. You know they're not going to take any more gas than they have to. Look at that quick stop by these guys. Jeff Norway out in second. He takes the lead on pit stops there. Look at this. Jeff Norway with quick service, and here comes Frankie Samato. He's unlapping himself. Jeff Norway is out in front, but has he built too much of a lead? These guys are all separated now. Kevin Kelly Sr. and Kevin Kelly Jr. again nailed their green flag pit stops. They have pulled out together, side 1 and 2, nose to tail. Ben Rinaldi in 4th, Dwayne Hall in 5th. This whole pack is separated. Now Ben Britton and Steve Dale, again, 6th and 7th, 2 cars. Travis and Ernie, 8th and 9th. It is now a tango race, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kelly Sr. and Kevin Kelly Jr. have gone by Jeff Norway. Jeff Norway, unfortunately, looks like he built up too much of a lead, and they got a run on him, and they went by him. Jeff Norway loses the lead with only about 3 laps to go. Let's take a look back quick and watch the pass. And you can see Jeff Norway was out too far. Kevin Kelly Sr. got a nice run on the outside with Kevin Kelly Jr. pushing, and they went by for the lead. So Kevin Kelly Sr. back in the lead where he has been this entire race. Will Kevin Kelly Jr. pull out and pass his father for the win? We do not know. There's Frankie Samato. He is on the tail end of the lead lap. He is probably going to fall 1 lap down again. Unfortunate break for him with him losing the lead draft. But Jeff Norway has gotten back up to Kevin Kelly Jr.'s bumper here. With 2 laps to go, you see Ben Rinaldi and Dwayne Hall there, 4th and 5th. Everybody, I am going to assume, took just fuel only. Ben Britton in 6th, Steve Dale 7th. Travis McKinney in 8th. Ernie D'Alfonso is in 9th. That is Ron Merlino there. He is a lapped car. He is helping those guys. He's going around those guys. Look at that. Ben Britton, Steve Dale, Travis McKinney, and Ernie D'Alfonso falling in line here, leaving Merlino out by himself. But here's the battle right now. As they're coming down to the white flag, it is going to be between these 3 cars unless somebody makes a mistake. White flag, 1 more lap here at Daytona. Nobody's made a move yet. Kevin Kelly Sr. with his son, Kevin Kelly Jr. pushing him. Does Jr. dare pull out? Does Jeff Norway try to make something of it? Jeff Norway, we know, had the lead and lost it. Let's see what happens here going down the backstretch and into turn 3. Still, nobody has moved out. Kevin Kelly Jr. staying dedicated to his father's rear bumper. Coming through 3 and 4 for the last time. Eric Smith slow on the apron. Never mind about that. Coming down to the finish. Checkered flag is out. Kevin Kelly Sr. takes the win. And tonight's USCRL Xfinity race at Daytona, Kevin Kelly Jr. stayed dedicated to his father throughout the whole entire thing. Finished in second. Jeff Norway with a great run. He finishes third. Dwayne Hall comes home fourth. Travis McKinney in fifth. Steve Deo sixth. Ernie D'Alfonso, he's already parked the car. He's in seventh. Ben Britton is in eighth, already parked. Ben Rinaldi in ninth, already parked. Frankie Simano, heartbreak for him. He was with Kevin Kelly Sr. and Kevin Kelly Jr. up until that one caution in the race. He lost the draft. Unfortunately, he is coming home in 10th. It's still a top 10, but that you've got to think what could have been. Ron Merlino 11th. Norman Kraft, again, another heartbreak for him. He got knocked sideways on the front straightaway from the lead and out of the draft. Again, another heartbreak for him. He was in 12th. Got to think what could have been. John Cross in 13th. Kevin Ring 14th. Eric Smith is already parked in 15th. John Peterson checked and released from the infield care center since he went through the track. He's 16th, and Jeremy Enix, unfortunately, finishing 17th. Dead last on the field, again with connection issues. Kevin Kelly Sr. takes the big win in dominating fashion here tonight. Kevin Kelly Sr. doing some donuts here on the front stretch at Daytona International Speedway. Congratulations to him and that whole entire Extreme Performance Racing team on their big win tonight, bringing home that number 30 Piggly Wiggly Rappa Scrappa car. I believe that's what it's called. Hang on, let's see here. Yeah, Rappa Scrappa, our original Piggly Wiggly number 30 EPR Chevy Camaro. EPR sweeps the top 2 positions. Kevin Kelly Sr., Kevin Kelly Jr., the father and son tag team. They have dominated this race. Kevin Kelly Sr. comes home with the win. Dwayne Hall is in 4th. Again, Travis McKinney 5th. Ben Britton, the other EPR contingent, he comes home in 8th. At one point, being a lap down. Yeah, I would say that's pretty solid. Probably not where he wanted to finish, but you got to think it could have been a lot worse than what it was had that caution not flown. So, guys, we're going to run down there. We're going to take a short break. We're going to run down there, get some interviews with some of the top finishing drivers, and we will be right back with the conclusion and interviews of tonight's USCRL Xfinity Series race live from Daytona International Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Uh-oh, what did I do?
User was moved to your channel.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up?
Up.
Nice. Hey, you guys are going to be interviewed. All right, so give me just a minute after playing, and then we'll come back. I'll come back and we'll do some interviews.
Devil.
All right, everybody, welcome back here to tonight's USCRL Xfinity Series race live from Daytona International Speedway. I'm Dale Reynolds, and I have made the trip all the way from the broadcast booth into the garage. I'm standing here with third place finisher, Jeff Norway. And Jeff, looks like you had a little bit of a rough start at this race. You lost the lead draft a little early. That caution came out, allowed you guys to get back up to the pack, and you had the lead coming out of pit road on that final green flag stop. Jeff, tell us about your night.
Well, it was all right. I was glad I got out of here in one piece.
Yeah, it definitely looked like, it was intense racing. It looks, from the broadcast booth, you could say it looks a little bit tame, but we all know that super speedway racing is really a stress on the nerves. How unnerving is it, especially early on in the race, if you lose the lead draft? How do you kick into survival mode at that point?
Not early on. I mean, you got the whole race left. Why worry when you got 70 laps to go? But you really start worrying when you're over halfway, and then you lose the draft. Then you really have a problem. So it's just after that, then you would be going into survival mode. But until then, you're fine.
Yeah, you do make up a good point there. I mean, you do still have a whole, pretty much a good chunk of race left, and again, a good showing by you tonight. Definitely a shot in the arm for this team, so to speak. Definitely needing a good run. Talk about coming out of pit road on the last green flag sequence, and you have the lead, but talk about also the gap that you have between every other car, allowing them to possibly get that run on you.
I knew that I didn't have enough distance, or I knew I had too much distance that I were just going to get a run. I was hoping just to keep up with them. My heart was beating so fast, I didn't think I was going to win it or anything, but I was glad that I was up there and I had a chance. But you get behind them too. There's no getting around them. So
10-4 on that, Jeff. So, again, third place finish tonight. Big congratulations to you, Jeff. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout-out to?
No, for you maybe.
Oh, man, well, that's fine. I do appreciate the shout-out, man. But, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Norway, third place run tonight. A great run for him. Again, congratulations to you, sir, on your third place finish. And now we've run across the garage here with our second place finisher, Kevin Kelly Jr. And Kelly Jr., let me tell you something. It looked like from the drop of the green flag, except for coming into pit road, you have been full throttle on your father's bumper the entire race. Talk about your night.
We had a really good package put together. We didn't plan initially bringing two EPR Camaros down. We threw a package together for the 30 really quick, and both cars were flawless all night. And yeah, you're right. I didn't have my foot off the pedal all night except for on pit road, and it was just really good. We had really good handling, and cars are fast.
Yeah, it's all that under the one caution there. It looks like your team had a bit of a slower stop. From the report that I heard was that it looked like a crew member had a lug nut that was hung up there. You got separated from your father there on that restart. Did you have any concern about being able to get back to his bumper to work together?
Not really, because we've been in this position so many times before that we always have a plan laid out. And it doesn't take that long now. It used to in the beginning, but we've gotten really good at getting back together.
10-4 on that. Nothing better. Maybe nothing more drilled into your head than having to work, a father-son combination. If somebody screws up, you can imagine what that family dinner conversation must be like on that night. But I got one more question for you. Pulling out on the last lap, did it ever cross your mind?
No, it didn't actually. This is just the 30 car is just a one race deal for now. We haven't planned anything in the future, so really this was a team win, and I was just really focusing on points tonight.
10-4 on that, Kevin Kelly Jr. Second place run tonight, another strong run for you. And Junior, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my dad for winning the race, you Dale for doing these awesome broadcasts, and Dwayne and everybody else who helps RSN, USCRL go around.
10 for on that. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Kelly Jr., second place finisher tonight here in the USCRL truck race, or excuse me, Xfinity race at Daytona. And we're going to run across the garage here with your big winner tonight, Kevin Kelly Sr. Uh, Big winner tonight, and also our in-race reporter as well. Kelly Sr., you were up front for most of this race. Obviously, we know that Kevin Kelly Jr. did not get off of your bumper hardly at all. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, first of all, the race was a last minute thing, and he talked me into running and all that stuff. So, want to thank him for that. He knows I love plate racing. Yeah, our night pretty much, didn't get too excited about anything. It's funny, we worked with each other so much at these plate races, we can almost predict what the other's going to do. And if we ever get separated, we don't really, get all freaked out and anxiety attacks and all that kind of stuff. It just seems we always know how to work back to each other.
Yeah, that's definitely the way that it looked, at least from the broadcast booth. And we talk about the one caution flag where you guys got separated there on the restart, but it didn't take you guys very long to find each other. Talk about some of the other drivers out there. We know that you guys had a huge lead there at one point. It was you, Kevin Kelly Jr., and Frankie Samato. I know you guys, we talked under the caution area. I know it's something you did not want to see that the yellow flag happen, but didn't have any worries about getting back up to the front once you did find Junior?
The first pit stop went so well with us. I think we came out with like an 8-second lead. We took right sides and filled the cars up, and we got in a nice little pack and ran with some guys. The last caution and restart was really, really interesting. I gotta put props out to the 48, the 10. Uh, I believe it was the 23, and of course Junior. We came around on the outside there, and we were just getting huge runs coming down the hill off of 2 and off of 4. And we just kept at it, and we were doing a little bit of side drafting up front, me and the 5 car. And really, I was just so proud of everybody, the whole group, man. It was just really, really tight racing, no beating and banging. And we got it done on the outside. And one thing, that I do like to put out there is we don't try to use people to get back up front. If someone works with us, we try to stay out there as long as we can to reward all those guys for sticking with us. So, and that's what we did, and I was happy to do that.
Absolutely, 10-4 on that. And, Frankie Samato, again, was one of those guys that stuck around with you guys a while. We know that Travis and a couple other guys as well worked well with you guys. I got just another question for you. Are you going to start running more races now that you guys have got the little bit of sponsor money in your pocket?
Yeah, we might do a little bit here and there. There's no really big plans right now in the foreseeable future, but if the schedule allows it, I do like running these Xfinity cars and all that, and got to give big props to Dwayne and all these guys that are involved with the many leagues involved with this game. Uh, Dwayne and these guys keep everything going, and they got the late models coming up and everything else and stuff. So proud of Dwayne for what he does, and I know there's some other people behind the scenes, but we couldn't come over here and do what we do without Dwayne, so that's for sure.
10-4 on that, Kelly Sr. Is there anybody else that you'd like to give a shout out to as well?
Well, like I said, just big shout out to all the guys, all the admins that runs all the different leagues. You guys do a great job. I wish I could race more, but you never know, I might show up again. Dwayne, I know Jeremy Enix has been helping Dwayne out a lot, so big shout out to him too. My son, obviously, for sticking with me and pushing me. He told me he would stay with me the whole night, and I told him he could race me, but he wanted to stay right there. So he wanted to give the old man another round of victory lane, I guess.
Yeah, well, hey, nothing wrong with that at all, right? Hey, so Kevin Kelly Sr., ladies and gentlemen, your big winner tonight. Congratulations to him on the big win, driving the number 30 Piggly Wiggly and Rappa Scrapple Chevy Camaro. And now I've gotten caught up here with Norman Kraft, who unfortunately comes across the line in 12th. And Norman, a little bit of a heartbreak for you. We noticed that you were up front on that last when the race went green under the one caution, and you were up front. Talk us through that bump, that little escapade there through the front stretch there that lost you the lead.
Yeah, I think the main factor was behind me. Steve Deo, I believe it was in 14, came up behind me and smacked me, got me loose again. but he didn't let off because it's getting towards the end of the race. There's no more give and take. Well, less give, more take. So anyway, he bumped me again. That's what got me loosened down in the apron grass.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just looked like it was not a good situation for sure, and it was just a pretty big heartbreak there. I know you were unfortunately you guys had lost the lead draft early on in the race, um, and you worked hard to get that caution came out. Talk about when that caution came out, and I'm pretty sure Jeff Norway probably hit on it a little bit too. Is that maybe you felt like you had a second lease on life, and then started going to the front there when that restart came out. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, once we hit that restart, I was, think, 6, so I felt like I was in good position. Plus, Ernie in front of me, I was thankful enough that he allowed me, well, at least he's good enough to not, lose himself from me pushing him too much. And that's the main factor. God, tonight's been a rough night, and, I mean, I'm happy with the team and the way we performed and everything, but I feel like we had a good restart and everything going up through, but I feel like once we got up there, the pack kind of stalled out, which made the car a little loose. And then coming through the trial again, as you guys saw, didn't really turn out well.
Yeah, 10-4. We just wanted to, probably a smart move. Unfortunately for you, it cost you the lead draft, but probably a good move on you is staying underneath that yellow line like you did instead of just trying to jump back up and risk happening what happened, risking what could happen to that big pack there. So a fortunate break for you. You're up front, and unfortunately it just didn't work out for you tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to there, Norman?
Yeah, first off, you for making these awesome broadcasts and doing streams you do. And I'd like to thank Dwayne Hall, everyone at RS, and Ben Rinaldi from USCRL for putting this whole thing on.
10-4 on that, Norman. Norman Kraft, unfortunately, went from the lead to 12th spot in about a lap and a half. It ends up finishing 12th. Unfortunate break for him. But, all right, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for tonight here in the USCRL Xfinity Series race live from Daytona International Speedway. Kevin Kelly Sr., your big winner tonight. Hey, don't go away because we're going to be back next week. So even though, even though we got another week until then, happy 4th of July to everybody. Hope you guys have a great, fun, and safe holiday weekend, and we will catch you guys next week. Thank you very much for tuning in.